Today I'm going to show you how to make a really good gluten-free pizza crust. So far it's the best crust I made. I've tried many pizza crusts and I do not like them. Even the ones that are at other stores. I don't like them. They taste like cardboard or they're gooey. They're not crisp, they're soggy. So anyway, I came up with this crust and I hope that you will enjoy it. Some of the ingredients that you will need is cornstarch, Italian seasoning, Parmesan cheese, shredded cheese. It could be Colby Jack or mozzarella and Colby cheese mixed. And potato flour, some salt, and an egg. Also, some grapeseed oil or canola, olive oil, whatever you prefer. Here's the recipe. 1 egg, 1/3 cup of shredded cheese, 2 tablespoons of Parmesan, 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, pinch of salt, and 1 teaspoon of grapeseed oil or any oil you prefer, olive oil. You beat all this together and then you add 2 tablespoons of potato flour and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay, so I added 1 egg, as you can see, and Parmesan cheese, regular cheese, Italian seasoning, the teaspoon of oil, and a pinch of salt. And if you wanted to, you could put pinch of sugar in it too. I didn't put any in this one. And just beat this really well together and mix it up good. I added 2 tablespoons of potato flour and I mixed that in. And then I added 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch. And you mix that up and you have to get your hands in there and make it into a little patty thing of dough. Just work it a little bit. And then we'll get our frying pan ready and the oven. The oven should be at 400 degrees. Before I put it in the oven on the rack, not on a pan, I'm going to do a process first where we actually make it like a big pancake in, again, this nice Teflon pan that you can get at Target or Walmart. I think it's called a green pan, evergreen or something like that. And I'm just going to put some grapeseed oil in there or whatever oil that you prefer using. And as you can see, what I did is I put the dough in the frying pan with the oil, and you just spread it in there, and after you have oiled the pan, and make sure there's no cracks in it, and then go around the sides. You can make it go up your pan. This is a medium-sized frying pan that I'm using here, so like a a medium size pizza. If you want a bigger one, then double the recipe and then put it in a big Teflon pan like this. And I'm just going to go around and just kind of make the sides of the pizza smooth like a crust. And you do it just like this all the way around. Like that. If there's a little crack, just pat it down, the crack. So I have my sides and like that. Okay, now I'm going to set my stove again to number between 4 and 5. And put my pizza crust on there. And then I'm going to put the cover on. Okay, now we're going to cook the dough in the frying pan. You cook it for about 5 minutes or a little longer on the stove, and as you can see, as it starts to kind of get brown, like around the edges, and it's starting to, you can kind of see that in there. So what we'll do now is we'll flip it over. As you can see, I flipped it over and it's nice. It looks, darker on the video, but it's a nice golden brown there. And I noticed in the middle, when it was flipped on the other side, it can bubble up with steam. So just poke a hole like you would a pie crust, and to let some of the air out, use a fork. So now I'm just frying it on the other side to make that side on the crisp side. So now I flipped it back over on the side it was, and just flip it over if you think it needs to get a little bit more crispy on one side to the other. Okay, so now we have our pizza crust, and as you can hear, it's pretty crispy. It's crispy on the other side. And what we're going to do though is we're going to put this in the oven at 400 degrees just for a few minutes, just to finish the crusting process. Okay, I took the pizza crust out of the oven, and I had put in the crust right on the rack in the oven. I didn't put it on a cookie sheet or a stone, just right on the rack. And I would say about 4 to 5 minutes. Don't go any longer than it would get too brown. But look at how nice, and you can pick it up, and really nice crunchy crust. So now what you can do is start putting your toppings on. You can put whatever tomato sauce that you want on, so you would put that on now. Then you would put your cheese on. Then after you put your cheese on, you can put pepperoni or sausage or chicken or hamburger. Make a cheeseburger pizza with pickles and onions. Can put whatever you want on it. I had found that Pepperoni by Hormel makes a turkey mini pepperonis, and they work really good, and it's 70% less fat. And what I also do is I buy the little chunks of pineapple that are in 1 serving cups and drain them, and then I can put pineapple on top of the pizza. You can put zucchini on, onions. We take spinach and put chopped spinach on top of the cheese. So after you put your pizza together, put it in the oven at 400 degrees, just right on the rack. You can make sure that more of the cheese is more centered in the middle so it melts and it goes out so that it won't spill over into your oven. Keep checking it and just cook it for about 17 minutes until the cheese melts and the crust is brown around the top. So I hope you enjoy this delicious gluten-free crispy pizza crust. The crust is also just perfect too. What you can do is, after it is in the frying pan and you fry both sides, instead of putting it in the oven, take your pizza crust, let it cool, and wrap saran wrap around them. If you make a double batch, you would have 2 pizza crusts, and put them in the freezer. And then when you need them, take them out, and then at 400 degrees, stick just the crust on the rack in the oven and bake the crust for about 5 minutes, and then take that out and then put your toppings on. So freezing is another option. Also, if you do not want a soggy crust, and the best thing to do is to put the toppings on right minutes before you're going to put them in the oven. Don't put your tomato sauce on there and let it soak and get soggy. Just do that minutes before you're going to throw it in the oven. That way it'll be nice and fresh and crispy. Also, another option for this dough pizza crust we made, you could take it and make this in the frying pan like you did, fry it on both sides, and then after that, cut them in wedges and put them on a cookie sheet. And put the temperature at about 325 for about maybe 15 minutes. And watch it so that they don't get overly brown. But you could also use them as crackers to eat with your soup, gluten-free crackers. Because the flavor of just the crust alone is really good just with a piece of cheese or along with soup. So I hope these ideas are also helpful. Well, the pizza tastes really good and the crust is crispy. I turned the piece over so that you can see that it's crispy. It doesn't taste gooey, gluey. It tastes really good.